Good afternoon, everyone. Today is the August 16 Transportation Committee meeting. And I'm gonna call it to order now at 12:01. Did everyone take a look at the minutes? No. It's July, we canceled.
Thank you.
Here we go.
One sugar, you can eat more than one.
Here we go, dear. And you have to sign in on this. Okay. Coming around, wait, what happened? This other thing now. Thank you.
Motion to accept the meeting minutes as presented.
Okay, so the minutes has been accepted as presented. Now, excursion buses. Bobby has something to say, and then I have something to say after she's finished.
Diane's trip to the solid waste authority was very well received. I was very happy that our residents asked really wonderful questions. Led me to believe that going there once or twice, once a year, once every 2 years is important. People were interested. The port called me and asked if we would like to take a tour of the port on October 16th.
Yes, I heard that.
October 16th, they have us penciled in to arrive at 9 AM. If this committee approves the date. It will be for 25 people. And the notice will say, if you have taken this trip before, please leave your seat for somebody who has never participated.
You said that's Porta Palm? I thought they usually provide their own bus, don't they? No? Okay.
So it's 25 people. I need an approval. I mean, if we want to do it, I'll tell them to go ahead.
Actually, I think that's too small amount of people to approve it, and one of the things I was going to talk about today, as you know. Many times at every meeting, I asked people if they wanted an excursion bus somewhere, no one has ever come to this office. Other than you and your sister, no one has given me anything, so I'm going to do away with the excursion bus. Well, we do have two this year.
Right. I mean, I'm perfectly okay. As I've said a million times before, I never wanted to be seen as the excursion bus
Tell me
chairperson.
that,
That was not my job.
correct.
And I absolutely agree that as we're tightening our belts the next year and the budget is going to be looked at so carefully, just eliminate excursion buses and suggest to individual clubs. You can run.
Most of the clubs, including our club, has been doing that.
That's all, and if
So-
they need help at putting notices up on 591, they're more than welcome to ask me for advice, but I have, the only reason that the trip is limited to 25 or 28 people, they cannot accommodate more than that in the conference room at the port. So, tell me if you wanna go ahead with it or not.
Committee, I'm opposed to it. I don't know how my committee feels.
How many
That's
people
why
went to the Southwest?
we take a vote,
25.
That's what I thought,
one meeting at a time.
that's enough.
Have we seen an abundance of people interested in it so far?
People are always interested in going to the port.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I guess.
Ladies, you have to sign in, please.
It requires a bus, and if we get a bus. When we went to the solid waste authority. It's one of those small buses you can see out windows, but that didn't matter.
No, it's not.
You know, people were sitting, but if we take a tour of the
Just
port,
the committee
I
members.
need a bus that has windows because they drive around the port and people have to look out to see
Well,
things.
Why don't we ask the committee member, yes, Joe?
Can I just ask, at one point,
Yes.
Marissa did say that she was gonna arrange
I
transportation.
heard that.
No,
Has you discussed it at all with her? So she's gone back on that.
what they go into eventually
No, not
get
now.
is a
We have to
bus
go- We have to go in
to
with.
transport people around the port.
Oh, they're not gonna do the, you're not gonna have excursion buses like us.
Who's that?
Donald, right, just
And it
from
wouldn't
what
be
I just
a union
heard,
bus.
this is exactly what happened in the previous tours. We provide the bus to get there, and then we transfer onto one of their buses
Which-
for the tour of the facility.
But they don't have that bus now, Donna.
Oh.
We have to stay on
So it'll be our bus,
that drives around. The last trip we took, that was what? the
Yeah,
routine
I remember.
was called.
yeah.
But as I said to the gentleman, we need, if we go ahead, we need a bus that people can look out windows. You know?
Right, of course.
Okay, question right there, please allow me. Okay, so you're telling me that going to the port, we will take you guys to the facility and we will continue doing a tour inside the port in our buses. So are they allowed
Yes,
outside transportation to go inside the port?
yes.
Our buses
One
don't
of,
do the tour?
a representative from the port
No.
gets on the bus and
Mhm.
tells the bus driver where to go. We've done it before.
Okay, so what kind of vehicle they were using? At the port, buses or they use vans, what they use? I'm just concerned about the size of the bus going
A
around.
small. I
Remember?
It was
they
the
go-
jitney bus. the last time.
Yeah,
I need to
I
find-
just need a bus for 25 people.
Yeah, but you're saying something about the windows.
Yeah,
So
it can't be,
different kind of bus
Right.
would be a coach. And
So-
then the size of the bus is different too.
so that's what I'm telling you, you have to decide ifs, ands, and buts, and we'll.
Okay, so let's take a vote and.
Well, this
Do you have
way you had
something-
something-
Only about this, only about what we're talking about now.
Yes, about the subject talking now, what is the excursion bus you are talking about, what bus is that?
This is
No,
a
those are
special trip.
buses that we ordered that.
All the buses?
No,
No,
this is a special trip,
It's
a
extra
special
bus.
excursion for people who want to go to a particular, like a museum. That's all.
It's not the.
That has
No, it's
nothing
not
to
the
do with the
regular bus.
regular schedule.
Sounds good.
Point
Yes.
of order, before you vote, you need a motion, you need a second on the motion, and then you can vote on it.
No, I'm not gonna make a motion.
All right,
No,
I
we
make
have
a
to-
motion that we go to the Port of Palm Beach on Wednesday, October 16th, limited to 25 to perhaps 28 people.
I second that motion.
Okay, so now,
You have the sheet?
yeah, I have the sheet.
I mean-
So what I'll do,
Well, they have to vote, we may vote
But
no.
that's a question.
I need to call the port to find out. I mean, I'll tell them that we're planning an excursion, that size kind of buses that we have to see how easy.
Got one thing, so, from what I'm hearing is. We used to take a bus to the point, wherever it may be, whether it be the port, and then the port would give us a bus to go inside.
Years ago.
Okay, now we're asking them, hold on, now we're asking them to take us from here, point A to point B, and then go inside point B and drive us around.
You got it right, Tom.
Always drove us, our buses always drove us to the port, but then they had a bus,
Yeah, okay, I got it.
but that is no longer available.
And they're gonna allow their buses inside?
So do you have the information, any phone number to call?
Okay, good, go with, his hand raised first, yes,
But we have to vote on it.
yes, David, one, yeah.
There's no reason to even discuss about buses until things been approved.
Well, that's what I was.
Or not.
So I need the date on that, Bobby, please.
Wednesday, October 16th, depart the clubhouse at 9. And return at noon.
Who seconded the motion?
John,
Okay.
Question.
yes,
Are there any other liability concerns that we have to consider if it's academy going through there?
Any
We
waivers
take
that we
our-
have to sign as
It's
we're
an
going?
ADA approved bus.
Okay,
The only thing I can see is the port telling us what size bus and what they need from the bus company to enter their facility. That's what Omar was talking about.
what you said you would
I
find.
will
Yeah,
give
I
all
understand.
my.
But it's your time to slow it down, it's what we're not, so let's do a call, please.
All right.
Roll call.
So it was this is a motion for an excursion bus to the Port of Palm Beach for 25 people on Wednesday, October the 16th, 2024, from 9 AM to 12.
Correct, no charge to guests.
All right. So we'll do with Diane Edelman. Ruth Trees,
No.
Bobby Levin,
Yes.
Joyce Reed,
Not here today.
Gloria Tart,
Going.
What?
Yes or no?
Yes.
John Timmerman,
Yes.
Michael Zaslow. Yes or no? Or thank you, got a free choice.
Yes.
Phyllis Zeidman is out.
She won't be on the committee.
Let's see, Joanne Robinson,
No.
Stuart Richland, not here. Kelly Jensen is not here, Dominic is not here, Patricia Caputo,
No,
David Bowen,
I know.
and. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3.
Call yourself.
we're about to go.
I did, I don't know.
Oh, maybe
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 no, and 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses, does not pass.
Oh, there's no reason.
Okay, I'll call her and tell her it's out. The next thing I want, do you want me to continue trying to contact Rick Roth about the tour in November of Roth Farm? It is very difficult. He's still involved with politics in Tallahassee. It's very difficult for me to get in touch with him. Do we want to continue this conversation or do I want to call and say we're finished?
No, I think that he's just gonna keep putting you off like he did last year.
Well, just tell me if you want me to say, take me off your calendar, or if we're going to continue to pursue it.
You told me you were trying to, you want to continue to try and get him, yes or no, it's up to you. You have to make a decision, you're the one who is actually getting these.
All right, I'll give it one more go round.
Okay, what's the other one you have for this year?
That's it, that's it.
That's it.
Was only Roth Farm and nothing else?
Nothing else?
Okay, so.
So this is out, okay, I will call them.
Do I have a forum to?
Yes, you do.
Okay, all right. We have a very tight budget. And I'm just gonna call it quits for next year. I don't wanna run any excursions. We're not getting very good responses anyway. And we really have to tighten our belts a little bit because in the past it wasn't done properly. So I'd like to make a motion to eliminate the excursion buses for 2025. What?
To eliminate it from the budget.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
eliminate from the bus, but I need permission of the committee, I think.
We need a motion from the committee.
I can't make.
You can make it,
Well, I'm
better
making a
off somebody else.
Okay. Who's the one with the
Yeah,
motion?
one next.
Who's to make the motion, who wants a second? Maria,
You're
Bob, who put up the hand first?
here, another sheet.
So who is it? Bobby or who seconded?
She will let one.
Gloria.
Let it be Gloria.
No. That's why I have it here. Put the motion. Thank you. Thank you, and Ruth volunteering, I really appreciate it. Okay. So you put down the vote and you do the roll call.
Can we talk about it before we take a vote?
Sure.
We can talk about it
So
before.
we're talking about doing away with the excursion from the budget for next year.
That's correct,
Well, we're doing away with this excursion to the port.
Yes.
that's correct.
So we're basically telling our owners and tenants and so forth and so on that we're not gonna have any more excursions.
And who just
Unless you
showed up
come
and who came to the, excuse me, who came to the office and who showed up other than Bobby and her sister who put all this
No,
together?
I don't
What I'm
think,
asking right now
Excuse
is,
me, wait a minute,
I don't think.
can we wait until 2025 to make decisions on individual excursions?
no, we're not, no, I made a motion and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, all right, no, no.
She's doing the budget. It's very tight right now, so I think for 1 year,
If we do away with them now,
let's see how
can
many
we
people come.
still do one or it's totally out?
No, no.
Well, we still have Roth Farms, which is in
We
this
said
year's
202.
budget.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah. We have 1 or 2 possible this year.
Okay,
The next year, there won't be
she's gonna
any.
do the budget, we gotta vote now for the budget.
She's gonna take it out of the budget for next year.
Now, alternatively, if you wanna put a little bit of money.
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. I made that motion and sticking to it.
Who seconded the motion?
Bobby.
No, Gloria said,
Bobby's whichever.
I made the motion because you wouldn't or couldn't, I made the motion.
I
Gloria
understand
seconded.
that, I understand that. And we'll see if people come next year and complain and want an excursion bus. So far, there's nobody who can, I mean, no one, other than the sisters.
You know, but I don't think the point is that only Diane and I have been planning them.
Yes,
When we do plan them, we get a full complement of people. It's just that people are not giving us ideas.
That's not true, because one bus I had to cancel, you only had 18
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So that's really not true, the majority of people have not been forthcoming. But in any event, listen to
Yeah.
me, folks, it's just a 2025. If we do have an outcry, and we do have people who are interested, I'll know. I'll know, and then we'll put it back in the budget. I think we'll have a better idea of what the budget will be like. Once we cut back some certain things that are not that necessary. Please do the roll call.
Is there money in still in the budget now? Will there be money left over once we go into 2025?
Guys, please let me do the roll call. Go ahead.
The motion is no excursion bus for the 2025 budget year. Motion was made by Ruth, seconded by Gloria.
Is that a negative motion?
No,
Is that a?
It's not a negative motion.
It's positive.
it's not a negative.
It's all right.
Read it again, Fausta.
No excursion bus, excuse me, no excursion buses for the 2025 budget.
All right,
No
so if
money.
you vote yes, you don't want it.
Right. So,
Right.
if you, no, right, if you vote no,
No.
the motion is.
Maybe the word.
The motion.
Let's
No, hold on.
Let's vote it.
Okay,
Let's vote it.
okay, all right,
Let's vote it.
Okay, I will- okay, I will take care of that.
Okay, okay,
That's
that's the word.
Eliminate excursion buses for the 2025 budget year. Budget year. Sorry. Okay, all right, Ruth Trees,
Yes.
Bobby Levin,
Yes.
Gloria Tar,
Yes.
John Timmerman,
Yes.
Michael Zaslow,
Yes.
okay. Joanne Robinson,
Yes.
Patricia Caputo,
Yes,
David Boaz,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So it's unanimous, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 yeses, 0 no, motion carries.
okay. Moving on. Is there any old business? Okay. Any new business? Okay. General discussion, more or less.
No, I just have, after the last couple of meetings that I've been to,
Yeah,
I did go back to my association, talk to owners and tenants. First, I really didn't know who was taking the bus, but I did find out we have about 6 people out of 26 that ride the bus, maybe 7 or 8. Their feedback, after me explaining to them, I need a date, time, route number, bus number, if there's any complaints. They say the drivers are unbelievably good. they get off to help them, the ramp goes down, so, all that was all positive. Speeding was the main issue. Being passed by,
Stop. Well, you have to stop. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. If they had a complaint about speeding, what they should have done was give me a form, the day, the time. You can't expect the bus company to believe everything that everyone
that's
says
not what I
without.
was saying. I'm just general discussion, after me explaining to the owners and tenants that I need a date and time for official complaint. Their input was that the drivers are
I got that.
exceptional, and the only complaint they had to me was the speeding and being passed by. Cause one woman said, the bench is back here and there was a vehicle sitting here as the bus was coming this way, this was an SUV. And the driver didn't see the person sitting there. So I said, she had that was the only complaint, but otherwise they're very happy
I
with it.
know, but this is what I want you to tell.
No, I know, I did.
What you just said, now if you had a date and a time of the bus, he would have
But
looked into it.
they didn't know that was the official route, with the complaints, they are aware of now.
I've been saying it every
But
assembly.
the owners and tenants don't know unless you go to them.
Joanne, could you do me a favor, please? Could you put something on the blog
Yes.
about it?
Yeah.
Perhaps we can do a little article or something about people having any type of complaint about the bus.
Every column I write says that.
So there we go. I don't-
Put something on
But,
TV.
we always discuss, people don't read the blog, people don't watch the TV, even though we told them about the TV channels, so there are a small handful of people out there. That
You know-
don't know the official routes to take, finally.
I hear you and I understand it, but I want you to know that some people tell me something and I told them and they checked it and it was a lie.
No, I understand.
Last meeting's minutes in June, we didn't have a meeting in July. Complaints in writing were once again stressed. Every column I write says that, but if you don't read it,
They also said about the drivers being very nice and feeling sick.
Yeah.
Temperature on the bus was good, no complaints about that, I know some people told them
just like to fly.
Well,
like.
okay, any other general discussion before we go to the welfare? To the welfare, anyone? I can see that, anybody see?
No,
No, okay. Then we go to the-
Right.
Yes,
I'd like to ask about the email that I sent you today. I don't know if you read it or.
I answered you. And you said there was no connection, I answered Bella,
Bella,
I most certainly did, I can show you before you leave, there's something wrong with your computer. Because when you sent me a message, it said not connecting. And I told you didn't have to make an appointment, you could come anytime. And then I sent you a separate email, bellastable@yahoo.com, right?
so it was in a rush because I realized I should have sent this maybe a few days earlier, I don't expect
No, you just wanted to come to the meeting, I said
yes,
yes.
but I wrote some points also,
There was nothing on that email, I'll show it to you before you leave.
but then I sent again. You should have this.
And it said that you have a problem connecting, I will show it to you, I'm not gonna waste this whole.
Okay, so maybe I can say my points,
Well, wait till
when
the
my
next one.
turn is, I'm not rushing.
One more minute. Any other general discussion before we go on to the good of welfare here?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I would like for Mario and Omar to give us an update on the bus company and how they're doing inside the village and any more updates on the new buses and how they're working compared to the old buses.
Oh, okay. You get that, Mary? This is.
How are the newer buses working compared to the older buses?
Well, of course, the best brand is the new. The best brand of anything is the new brand, so anything that is new is supposed to work better than the old one. But as an update, two out of the 5 original buses that we used to start the contract were retired this month. So meaning that we received the 2 new buses and the older ones were retired.
Good.
So we managed to harvest a few parts that you know, that we believe that could be a hard part to find, a barcode, especially those parts that need to be shipped from other states. So we save some of those parts, we have them in the stores now. And we retired those 2 buses, meaning that, you know,
It was time to go.
exactly, it was time for those buses to go. We put the new buses to run. We had a minor issue with one of the buses with the needling, we have to replace a needling valve, there's a lot of moving parts related to needling the bus. For a couple of days, we used a step tool, then we managed to replace the valve, it's working fine now. The drivers love the bus. I'm assuming the customers, you know, the residents, they like the bus. We planning on keeping them outside. And we also use one of those to, I believe, to go to this excursion that we did on the waste authority. So that whoever is now riding the buses on a daily basis, but going to excursion, happen to enjoy the new bus as well. Other than that, a few complaints that we received from you guys in the community, we addressed complaints with the drivers. It was a good feedback because we talked to the drivers and they admitted the complaint was legit. And they, you know, they were counseled, we did some write-ups to the drivers and they of course agreed on not doing that again. Minor things, but we always like the feedback from you guys. So if it is in writing, if you tell me verbally, I know that we want things in writing because we keep track of what's happening, but again, anything that I heard coming, you know, from the residents, from any member of the committee, we look into it. Other than that, it's a slow time for us, so the charter business is starting this week. It's drastically slow, and there's an explanation for that. We were really busy on high season, now we came to end of the school, we start doing a lot of summer camps. So taking kids from local schools around the city. Now school is coming back, so we're going back to school. This is a couple of weeks where most of the people are focused on getting back to school. So the charter business goes slow, really slow. So this is our time to catch up with all the maintenance that we have to do, catch up with any major jobs that we have to do with the buses, or that we require the buses to be sitting for a couple of days. We don't know that. Keeping up with the maintenance, especially there are some maintenance that we do very often because it is basically oil change, filters, and you know, checking all moving parts and you know, torquing screws and this and that. But there are some major maintenance that we do, like AC maintenance, transmission maintenance, differential maintenance that comes usually at this time of the year. And that's what we're doing now, focusing on getting on maintenance and getting prepared for the high season that is supposed to start somewhere between September, ending of mid-September, starting October. And we hire new drivers for the contract, with the idea of keeping the same drivers to avoid the rotation of the drivers. So once we have the drivers assigned to the contracts, they get to know the people, get to know the contract, and then start sympathizing with the customers, and they get to know better. And that's what we're doing. So right now we have finally the 2 full-time supervisors that we were working on, and a handful of drivers that they are focused and assigned to this contract. They come in every day, they're working every day, and it's really working for us because the amount of complaints start getting less and less.
That's true.
The customers start getting to know the drivers. But again, at the same time, we come into issues like what happened to the other couple of last month, where the residents know the drivers know residents, and they start forgetting to check IDs, things like that. So again, we go into retraining,
Yeah.
talking to the drivers, getting memos sent out to the drivers so they don't.
That's important.
Yeah, and again, it's hard when you are a resident and you see the driver every day, and the driver every day tells you, "Let me see your ID," and you feel like, come on, you know it's me.
No, but it's possible that that person doesn't really live
Exactly.
here anymore. So you can't
Exactly.
assume
So
because
we keep stressing this with the drivers and doing refreshment for the drivers and telling them, look. You tell your passengers, guys, this is how it's supposed to be. This is part of the processing. It's a rule from both my company and Central Village.
Yeah, a lot of those passes were confiscated. Every time I hear the security report, I'm shocked. How many passes are confiscated because they're using someone else's
Exactly.
pass? So that's why it's so important that they have
Exactly.
to check.
So, and again, this is the time for us to recap.
Yeah.
Start retraining the drivers, start, catching up with the buses, doing major maintenance, major cleaning. That's also for the cleaning too. We do major cleaning for the buses because since we have the buses at the yard, we take the time to do, we don't use them in a daily basis, so they don't get dirty for daily use, but no, I'm talking about the contract. Your buses, they get used every day. We're talking about charter buses.
I know.
And then we put an effort, since we don't have to clean them all every day to do major cleaning, and that includes the buses that we use for the contracts. And that's what we've done.
We're just talking about complaints back and forth. Is there a standard complaint form that the bus company gives out?
Yes,
And can we have it on file here and
We have
different
we
associations?
have those
Yeah.
forms that people are supposed to fill out.
All right.
That's it, that's
Let's
going
have
here.
one.
We'll get you, I'll give it to you before you
Very
leave.
good, thank
They're
you.
available at the main clubhouse?
yes, at the clubhouse, and
Here.
if you go to the supervisor that is on site, they can have it. The supervisor can give it to you. If they ask for the drivers for a complaint form, the driver can tell you, it's at the clubhouse.
Do you have one online?
No,
No, I'll give it to you. Also, if there's any kind of compliment or complaint, do not forget to put your name,
No, I don't.
phone number. That's the only way they can receive.
But look, sometimes we receive complaints on the phone. Sometimes the complaint comes through an email.
No.
If they send an email to any of the members of the committee, it gets to me. They forward to me. It's
I
fine.
won't give
I
you
know she
their
dwells
email.
on it, that she needs it all in writing, we understand.
That's true, and I won't give anybody their email. I will send it, like some people sent me complaints.
If anybody comes to me, here's a form, fill it out, here's the
Yeah,
details.
and it's always here, and it's always at WPRA. Their email is not to be given out, just that we will send it to them and it gets sent out the same day.
Otherwise, send
You,
that to me.
you got a form yesterday, the guy is here today, and I gave it to you now, about this bus driver making a U-turn. He could probably tell you a lot better than I do.
I need to find out because we have had for the last week and a half a training bus
Yes.
driving around the village.
I've seen it before, but it cruises just as fast down the road as all the other drivers do.
Like, did you say they made a U-turn or they going there? Which was it? I didn't see the form. When you filled it out.
On Friday, here on West Drive, he made a U-turn. He stopped 5 cars and I had to back up 6 feet, so he wouldn't take the front of my truck off. That's not cool.
Okay,
And
Was it raining?
that's a training bus?
No,
Was it
bus
regular
number
bus?
2,
Bus number 2, okay.
Yeah, that's the one I get.
because he backed up, took out wanting to hit one of the dead end signs that were right there, and I said, dude, watch and he hit the sign, and then he just waved at my wife as he cruised by because she recorded it.
So this is the one that I have here?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
can we look into
We
it?
sent to you yesterday and I gave you one now, because I knew he would be here today.
Okay, we'll look into it.
Okay,
So the time here says
It's
3
3
p.m.
About
3 p.m. they departing from the clubhouse.
Well, I knew it was about that time because I just come back from my accountant's office.
Can you
because I
remember
own my
it's
business.
before 3 p.m. or after? Because that time the switches
just-
change
Just right before 3 because he went up,
before.
because he went up right up here, he did the curve. And then he just stopped and then he made the U-turn and then come back out.
Yeah, we asked you because at 3 o'clock, we changed drivers. Second shift starts, so it's different driver,
Yeah.
after and before, it's different drivers, so want to make sure that we don't go after the wrong driver. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay, but again, excursion bus and it's supposed to be labeled, it's supposed to have a sign that says, not excursion, I'm sorry,
Training.
training bus.
Training.
It's supposed to have a sign.
I saw the training bus, but they were also cruising fast through the neighborhoods anyway, they come around the corner, and just pick up the pace, like it's 15.
Okay,
And it's, I'm not.
no, it's okay. We need to know
Because-
this.
Because we'd come in and try and park, we'd slow down, turn and park, they slow down behind us and they start hitting the horns first to get out of the way, so, come on, let's work.
No,
Then they get on it again,
that's not right.
so, I'm just putting it out there.
That's good.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
One thing,
Yes.
if you give me 1 minute,
Sure.
we have had some of the drivers concerned about customers or residents getting kind of upset when the driver's asking IDs for the companions.
Yes, that's true.
It doesn't matter.
So, yeah, but again, I want you to know, this is a matter of working together and getting both the drivers and community educated about coming to buses. So we're stressing our drivers that they need to ask for ID. Companions need to have ID, childs need to have IDs, and they're trying to, I mean, we go after the drivers. The driver that failed to ask for the ID in that incident, he got punished.
I know.
So they know that they need to ask for the ID, but if the community is getting upset because why you asking me for ID, he or she is coming with me, I don't need ID, that's something that, you know, on your end, you guys need to make sure that whoever is coming on board is supposed to have the ID. So, because I don't want my drivers to tell anyone, look, you coming, you're not coming. You're gonna be left behind. We don't wanna get to that point.
Well, if they're not going to listen to the television and the delegate assembly and us, then I'm sorry, there's gonna come to a point, we had an incident, I'm not gonna bring it up.
Exactly.
But it could be very dangerous for the people
Exactly.
who live here, for people getting on that don't belong here anymore. So we have to stick to the rules. The rules are for everyone. I've been on the bus. People know me. They know who I am. I show my pass all the time. I go into the assembly, we're officers, they know we're officers. Well, we take our passes out and we show it. It's the rule. There's no exception. It's the
Yeah.
rule.
And we play signs on all the buses.
I know that.
No
So
ID,
I-
No, you're
right.
I'll emphasize again, perhaps we could have it on the channel
Yeah, we'll
again,
do something.
that the bus drivers were told they cannot accept you on the bus unless you show a pass. You don't want to happen what happened with that lady.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a liability matter.
Exactly.
Whoever doesn't like it, they can come and talk to any one of us in the office. You know, I don't wanna put other people at risk. I
So
really
you do
don't.
have temporary IDs for visitors or something like that?
But they have, I don't know, when they're a visitor, do you know, David, if they're allowed on the bus when they come to visit, they can get a visit ID, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Wait, David is talking.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
No,
I'm sorry, I forgot. Go ahead, speak.
To get on the bus, you must have a Century Village ID. If you buy a pass at the clubhouse,
Mhm.
you may also get on the bus. But the person that is your sponsor has to be with you.
Correct.
The only exception that might be with that is if somebody that is going shopping and they need an aide to go with them. That's pretty easy to see. Other than that, a pass that's issued at the clubhouse, a guest pass. You must be with your guest on the bus as well as you have to be at any WPRF facility.
So basically, they're color coded.
Mhm.
A residence pass is completely white and says resident on it, or it has a red stripe across the bottom. A renter or an occupant has a green stripe across it. And what we're talking about, the weekly pass, has a yellow stripe in it.
There's a blue also, I
The
think
blue
that's.
is a temporary ID because there's a problem with them being issued a regular ID.
Can you get a sample of the IDs? Put them in a piece of paper, color, scan and color and send me a copy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't need to have name or address, if you wanna write it out, it's
Just
fine.
the
I
form
need
and
to have
colors.
We'll give it to you.
a
That's no problem.
color, and if it says resident or visitor, so we can train the drivers better on this.
And if you can get a copy of those four, I'll put it in the paper
I-
and identify.
I will go to the ID office and I'll have that, cause they'll have blank ones.
Okay,
So
perfect.
there'll be no picture, there'll be
Perfect.
nothing on there.
I just need to know if there is a color stripe and if it is resident or
Right.
visitor or provisional, whatever is the terminology.
You're basically dealing with four,
It's not many, not many.
four IDs.
We'll make a PDF out of that.
It's not many, it's good.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the good welfare.
Okay, first, what I'm gonna bring up now is in the email, if you didn't get it, you'll get it, I'm not bringing, everything is in writing already.
Okay.
But I don't know, for some reason, if you open your computer, maybe you'd see it by now.
I
But
opened my
now-
computer, it's not in
It's
there.
not in there, I'm very disappointed. Okay, okay, so this is it, this is about the daily routine that starts at, I don't know, 9 AM and finishes at 8 AM and finishes at 4 PM. So it would be much more comfortable if it stops at 5. And if you need to start at 9 AM, it's fine, because the afternoon is it bothers me, it hinders with, many times with whatever we wanna do. Oh, it's 4 PM already, you need to run home, I don't have another bus to come back. It's very uncomfortable. So just, if you don't, you cannot extend another hour, please, no, I know that, I know
Let me
that.
tell you something,
But
we
to
made a lot,
start at 9 AM instead of,
we made a lot of changes with this contract. They were kind enough to allow me to make, I even got a bus going to the temple across the street. I cannot make one iota change for anybody anymore, they have a contract, we have a contract.
but
They were kind of, excuse me, they were kind enough to give me the extra time or whatever. We cannot change anything on any of the buses for anyone anymore. This is the contract. The new contract is coming up next year. We can't just do it for a handful of people who want the time extended. The majority of the people know about these schedules, they're fine for it. You know, I work with you, I got you the bus every day to go to the temple because I could. But I cannot start changing
But
times.
let me tell you, it's not for myself, it will be for almost 100% of the
I
people.
understand that, but I cannot change.
Maybe there is still time now to just to start at 9 and
No, we
finish
can't
at
do
5.
that.
As the
We can't do that, she wants to go at 8, some people want to go at 9, I can't do that.
Wanna have it 5 o'clock in any church.
No, whatever the bus, whatever the
How
bus
many
is saying,
people can you just to see for the record, if people are really utilizing 8 o'clock AM?
I did on the
As
bus.
much as like 5 PM,
Well, this,
logic, it's not logic.
this.
That's not okay. It's not like it's still 5 PM. Sunday, it's still 5 PM and that's, it makes a difference.
I understand what you're saying, but I can't.
Okay, so.
Just think, my
You have to.
My association, 6 or 7 people that we have, they're at that bus stop early. And they wanna get their errands done early, so they plan around that time frame that they allow us to have. And they're out there early.
But usually stores don't open so early, like 8 AM. Most businesses.
But like she's saying the contract is under, she can't change the contract.
No, we
We
can't.
could look into it for the next contract possibly,
These
as long
guys,
as the numbers are there to back that up.
do you realize how hard it was for them to change? Let's talk about the bus company, everybody wants to put them down. They worked extremely hard changing the schedule. When I made a change, and I made a couple of changes, they had to work out the schedule all over again. That's time and that's money that's being taken away. In all fairness, we get complaints, been taken care of. I get a lot of compliments about how a lot of things were taken care of. Nothing is perfect, there's always gonna be something that's wrong, but we cannot make any more major
So
changes.
basically,
Any
we have to
change
plan around the schedule that's given to us.
that-
But we have how many people in Century Village to take the bus, we can't accommodate each one.
Listen, I became a bus rider when I lost my son. And I haven't had any problems whatsoever, and they go to everywhere, and I understand what you're saying, but you just can't change it again.
And like maybe twice a week?
No, I'm not gonna listen to you, I can't do it,
Okay.
I can't do, I'm being straight up here. I'm telling you.
Even if you wanna go on a train, you wanna go in list the schedule, so if you wanna go on a train, train starts at this time, and you need to plan around that time, it really.
It entails a lot more than people say. Yes,
Now I would like to bring, first of all, about this, about 5 o'clock, I'm wondering that nobody brought up this subject.
is it not changing subject, we should be.
Now the second, yes. Between, the number 1, 2, and 3 buses, all day they go out of the village.
That's right.
But then from 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock and on, they only circle in the village. And I see most of the time they are empty. So I wanted to ask that instead of 3 buses after 5 PM, you can make it into 2 buses and have that credit to do something else with the timing, something more efficient, that running empty buses.
Buses, you have approximately 168 bus stops inside Century Village alone. So moving one bus stop, which is 5 minutes, means moving all the bus stops. So you may see a bus with nobody in it at 5 o'clock, but those people may have gotten off or will be getting on after they pass you. So the bus company has worked out these routes, and like Patricia just said, every change that you make affects every one of those 160 plus bus stops. You may see an empty bus at 5 o'clock, but you don't know that once that bus passes you, the next stop, he's gonna pick up 5 people. And they have to follow what the bus company schedule is. They follow the bus routes, and like they've done to help Patricia with some of the other bus stops, if there's an adjustment that they can make to make it better, they will come forward to us and they'll say, we can do something a little bit better. Like they did with the east and west route buses. We figured something, they have to do it because they're in charge of the buses and they know where it is. To us, we see an empty bus and we say we're wasting time. It's not up to us, it's up to the bus company, right?
No, we said, we also say.
You monitor the bus.
No, we also adjust the timing for the buses going to Publix after 5 o'clock. Before we were sending all buses to 5 o'clock up to Publix, now we're sending only 1 bus rather than the 3 buses, so that save gas, diesel and everything.
Yeah, so they're making the adjustments as needed, yeah.
But inside the village is, it's impossible, it's too hard, because you never know who is waiting for the bus.
Exactly.
Who is taking the bus, maybe you see at 5 empty, but at 6 is full, or it's 4 people, at 7 is different, somebody's coming back.
Plus, when you start making arrangements in the schedule that this is not gonna happen on Monday, it's gonna happen on Tuesday, or it's not, it confuses the community, it really confuses everybody.
Look, for example, when I took the bus, I think I told you this before. I was on the bus, there was only maybe another 1 or 2 people with me. I took the bus around, I didn't get off. I rode around to see what people were talking about. During that whole period, internal, people were getting off, people were getting on, people were getting off, people. So I wound up with 8 people, and by the time that I went home again, there was just me. So people do not know that there are a lot of people that are just traveling within the complex, like I don't drive anymore. So if I wanna go see someone, I'll take the bus too, I don't like to bother people, I like to be independent. So I can get on the bus and get off somewhere else, and I have, I'll go see my daughter. Or other people do it, so it's hard to say, you adjusted the buses to public. Because everybody said, oh, those buses are always empty, no, they're not always empty. It's true after 5 years, not as many, and I know you adjusted, yes, Michael?
So I read the buses all the time.
Yeah, I know you did.
And I can speak to that point where, when I get on, I'm one of the first stops to get on the bus after it leaves the clubhouse. So that bus may run empty, and it looks like it's running empty for half the village.
Right.
People get off, they see just me on there, but at that next stop or two later, you're seeing 5, potentially 6 people
Right.
getting on. Before you know it, by the time it's ready to go back to the clubhouse, that bus is half or if not 3/4 full. Because people are going there, so you know, it's difficult to
I know.
base a point on what one individual sees, and I think we have to rely more on the statistics for being provided for ridership.
The bus company was kind enough to do this, they give me an account, and I went over it, and when everybody told me there was no one had to stop, you know, and I look at it, it's not true. Every single bus has stops that people have gone on and off. So, as a chair, I can tell you that it's not true that the buses run completely empty from start to finish, not true. They're empty maybe when you see them, but they're not empty from start to finish ever. Excuse me, Fate had their hand up first, yes, Fate.
Ready? Okay, we are missing a bus stop at Camden G and Benson Street. There was a bus stop right there in the corner, but it's not there anymore, but the drivers, people take the bus there and the drivers stop. So the other evening, I said to the driver that there was a bus stop there, but when he get out, the stop wasn't there anymore, it was there.
Ma'am,
we didn't remove the stop.
ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, when you say that a bus stop is not there anymore,
Yeah,
do you mean that there was a bench and there's not a
no,
bench anymore?
a sign, bus stop sign,
So there was a stop sign and now there is not a stop sign?
it's not there anymore,
Okay, so that means that there is a missing bus sign.
right?
And I'll get the bus sign
Yeah.
put back for you. You said it's Camden G, correct?
and Benson, she said.
G, yes, coming out to Benson Street, coming before you make the come back on the west.
I'll have that sign up for you this afternoon.
Is the bus stop in there?
It was a bus stop and the people get on the bus there, but the sign isn't there anymore.
So it's just the sign, bus driver takes no, there you go. Yes, darling.
I wanted to say that I'm also one of the people that rely completely on the bus because I don't have any private transportation or have a car. And I'm not
Me neither.
So I get a feel of what's going on. And I see, I wonder if you take some, if statistics are being taken, like at night, if a bus, if buses, if there's one person on a bus throughout an hour or 2 people or nothing. To that degree that maybe we can do something about it because
But that's what I'm telling you,
so
so
you tell us,
Monday to Friday, let's say Monday you see nobody on the bus. That person decides to get on the bus on Tuesday or perhaps Friday, whatever. There's no way of breaking it down, there are people getting on and off the buses, all the buses. And all this stuff, I can't say to you, well, they stop at every single bus every day. That's impossible.
I know that we deal with elderly people and this is part of it creates
I'm how many years old? I'm part of the old people.
Including me, it's very hard to change a schedule a little and it's very hard to do anything. But a bus to leads to nowhere, it's even worse because we still need to make some. I mean, it costs money to everybody, we all pay for these services.
I understand.
And sometimes we need priorities, we do wanna go someplace or extend something, not asking for more hours.
No, let me tell you
These
something.
hours, to utilize better.
The bus service was brought in as a consideration, before they came, we had trains.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have buses long. We decided to bring in buses and then they were only internal. Then we extended it,
It's
but
kind of around.
it's not that the people, it's part of the maintenance and we have to give it to you. We don't. If they wanted to close down the bus service, it wasn't in the contract from the beginning when they were selling units, you know that, right? So the thing is that the more we seem to give people, the more they want. It's not gonna happen. I'm being very reasonable, wait, I'm speaking. I'm being very reasonable. I think that the bus company's been fair. I think that we've been very fair. I understand what you're saying, and I know you want more buses and you want more time. It's not gonna happen.
That's
It's just not gonna happen.
Not the hours either, that's what it was.
We're not going to, you keep repeating yourself, and I'm not gonna keep
No, not
discussing.
an hour later, maybe just
No.
to start later and finish.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna change it. There's
Maybe
14.
accommodate you.
No, listen, we can't accommodate even 100 people. Do you know how many people live in this
I'm
village?
very pleased with the buses.
14,000 people. I think that quite a
If
number
not
of
for
people.
the buses, I wouldn't be here because I'm a very
Listen,
independent person.
I empathize with you, but I'm not gonna lie to you, we're not gonna change.
Maybe in the future
Just,
you guys.
we're talking about numbers,
No,
and I see this has been given to
this is.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Anyway, what, off the top of your head, how many riders do we have in Century Village? And if you could put something together for us, besides that, since probably you have it all on the computer.
In terms of,
Everybody wants to know.
in terms of changing the time,
No,
No.
I just wanna know how many passengers are using, how
oh, we
many.
can run statistics on those and make
Yeah, is there
make like
something we
a
have,
chart,
we
so
know,
we
or-
could do that.
These are the numbers, John, this is what the bus driver
Anybody who
turns
wants
in.
to count this,
No, I know, but can they, if this is their computer, can they?
why are we making them do more work? This is it, if you
I'm
want.
just asking, you know, to show people,
No.
you know, we have, how many people in the villages, is how many uses the buses. You know, and then, wow, we should realize that, I don't even know how many.
Probably should, if you give me a
Oh,
number.
let me tell you a quick,
Ridership number.
let me tell you a story, and this is a true story. And I read this in some article years ago. There was a small town in remote country in, I don't remember if it was China or Hong Kong or the Japanese country, Japanese town. It was a small town where they have a small population. And they had a train that used to go to that town and back. So there was a last stop, first stop for the residents in that town. And the population started getting growing and growing, and they start using the train less because they start driving and using cars, they built a road. So the train was not any longer the only communication way for this small town. But there was a girl that used to take the train every day to go to school. And the authority, the transportation authority, decided to terminate the train, not using it anymore because it was a waste of time and money to send the train for one person. And they ended up just keeping the train for this lady until she finished school and she was able to start driving. And they extended the train service for a couple more years just for this lady.
We're not gonna do that.
Me, but what I'm trying to tell you is that even if we run a bus with one person on board,
Right.
there's a reason for the bus. So
I
if
think
we
should have a ridership number, maybe.
if we start running early in the morning and just because you see only one person riding early in the morning and you move the service to later during the day, you're gonna affect that person. You're gonna satisfy one person, but you're gonna put on the stress on another person that may be using the bus for a really good reason. So it's really the service is there. We need to try to make our business around the service. And this is, let me tell you something, this is not even for our service here. They have this happens everywhere. You go outside in Caltrans and the service starts at 9 o'clock and finish at whatever time they finish. If you are not at the bus stop when the last bus coming, you're there, you're stranded. So you need to accommodate yourself to the time. Really, it's not gonna be a possibility for us to please everyone.
No, I know that.
We try to please the majority.
I know, Michael first, then Michael.
So, yeah, I mean, even when you talk about moving it from 8 o'clock, when you just look at the connections, so that's one of the run times that go up to the gym.
Yeah, I know that.
So, or up to Hastings, so if you have people that are taking that bus, if that was moved, you'd miss your connection, because there's no bus at noon. It would gum up the entire works of how that system is flowing from one whole side of the village.
And it's going beyond that, because if you move the service to 9 o'clock, then the external buses will leave empty for the first loop because there's gonna be nobody there. So then you're gonna need to move the external buses to 10 o'clock. It is just not, exactly, it's not just one,
not
it's
practical, I
really,
understand.
Domino effect.
there is.
Okay, one more question.
Okay, this is for the benefit of everybody, I'm not talking just about myself.
I understand that,
So.
but I gave you an answer already.
There
I
was,
want you to see-
no,
No, I'm not
it's a
gonna hold
minor
that.
discussion, maybe.
3 times, say 3, no, go ahead. If it's new ones, it's.
There was a time, it was just COVID started, when COVID started, they were taking like attendance of the buses and they were riding, but they didn't do it. COVID came in and they stopped doing it. Yes, I gave my name and where I go, and it was like they had an attendance on the bus, on the
Different
previous
bus
buses.
companies.
Who did that?
That was
Different bus
important
companies.
because, but this village wanted to improve to see where, how much is needed here, how much is needed there, and what to have an idea of what's going on. 100%, that was just before COVID.
5 years ago.
Different
company.
Different contract, different company.
Okay, so maybe we can learn.
Guys,
No, I wanted to bring another.
no, you have, no, you are taking up my whole meeting, yes, you have, no, I'm sorry, the person cannot monopolize the meeting with two questions. And the same questions, I'm not being unfair, I have a life that we all do, and I have somewhere to go. The thing is that other people are raising their hands and putting it down. She asked me 3 or 4 questions, I answered her 3 or 4 times on the same subject. I'm not being rude, someone else is raising his hand, you may speak.
Just want to answer the COVID question.
Yeah,
At that time, I was the chairman of the transportation committee. Also, the stores were closing earlier.
Yes.
So we decided to cut back till 7 o'clock. After COVID was over, we went back to the regular schedule as it is right now.
okay.
And you are correct. I'm ready to call for an adjournment.
Exactly. I'm gonna show you the email, by the way. Anything else from anyone else? Thank you guys for coming, I appreciate it. Thank you all for coming.
What would you take of the plan? The long term, what would you take your final, your children are also child. 5, 6, they had to show IDs to get these.